Hey guys, and welcome back to Orange Green and Natural. It's Jillian here, and just going to continue on with our 10 ways to healthier hair. So, we've talked about setting your hair goals, we've talked about how to detox your strands and to exfoliate your scalp. So, the next thing that we're going to talk about is simplifying your regimen. Now, there are so many blogs, forums, chat rooms, you name it, they're out there about women talking about their hair and the products that they use, how often they trim their hair, what protective styles they use. And, it's safe to say that everything is not going to work for everybody. And this can get a little bit overwhelming. And oftentimes, when we are just so, excited and ready to start this new journey, and we're willing to try anything, really, and everything. And sometimes it's hard to discern what works and what doesn't. So I just wanted to bring to you just the essentials that I use for a healthy hair regimen. Now, again, PSA announcement: what works for me might not work for you, but just, thought I would come and give a little feedback. First, let's talk about how we cleanse our hair and what we cleanse our hair and how often. I tend to have a drier texture of hair, so I use a sulfate-free moisturizing shampoo. I do that every week. And then every month, I'll use the apple cider vinegar rinse after I have deep conditioned my hair and detangled it in the shower. I'll use that in order to cleanse my strands and my scalp and to basically rebalance the pH of my hair. Some people are not shampoo girls at all and would just rather use a light co-washing conditioner, something like Suave or Regimen. A lot of natural women use, and it's really just what works for your hair. I tend to sweat a lot in my scalp, and I also work out maybe 3 times a week, so it's very important at the end of the week for me to cleanse my scalp. Now, if you're not so active, which everybody should be a little active, or you just don't sweat profusely like I do, like it's bad. You can get away with not cleansing for a couple weeks or a couple months or what have you. And it's really just about you figuring out what works best. Now, conditioning. I tend to use a heavier conditioner during the winter and fall months versus the spring and summer months, which my conditioner is still a deep conditioner, but it's just lighter in texture. It still gets done, what it needs to get done, which is to reestablish the moisture in my hair. So let's say in the wintertime or the fall, I'll use my Shea Moisture deep treatment mask. And then in the spring and summer, I'll switch to something like Organics Moroccan deep conditioner, which it's a lighter texture, but it's still, like I said, is very moisturizing, and I can definitely tell the difference in my hair when I use it. The one thing for me that does not waver, no matter what season it is my beautiful hair steamer. That is something that I use on a consistent, like on a weekly basis, especially if I'm not traveling or if I'm at home. Now, the way that I use my deep conditioner and my beautiful hair steamer is that I use it on my dry hair. So I'll do like a hot oil treatment, and then once I've done that, massage my scalp, I will section my hair into four parts, and then use the conditioner on my dry hair, and then get under my beautiful steamer. I found that for me, and I've from the research that I've done, is that it's the same concept as when they tell you to wet your hair before you get into the chlorine, so that the chlorine doesn't absorb into your hair as much as it would if it was just dry. So it's the opposite, for conditioner. You want the ingredients in the conditioner to absorb into your hair, so that, if your strands are inundated with water, then your hair is not going to be able to absorb all of the nutrients that the deep conditioner can provide. And that brings me to my next point. Your hair care regimen is all about consistency. So another thing that is very consistent for me is a hot oil treatment and a scalp massage. It's just something that's just relaxing about it. It just, on top of being, very healthy for your strands. So I would definitely suggest that you do this, once a week. It's definitely like a easy like stress reliever, depending on the essential oils that you use. Typically, I use coconut oil, castor oil, and almond oil. Sometimes olive oil as my base, but olive oil can be a little heavier than I need it to be at that time. So those are my three like base oils, and then my essential oils are rosemary, lavender, eucalyptus, and then I also do like chamomile or peppermint. Peppermint oil is definitely a big one, and tea tree oil as well. And so you'll hear a lot of women say that they use these. A lot of natural women, these are their go-to oils, and you can find them. I mean, at this point, natural is not a fad anymore, right? Like this is something that is here to stay. And so I've been in my local grocery store and found essential oils, and of course you can find the base oils like your coconut oil and your olive oil in the grocery store aisle. So it's very accessible, and you can also go on Amazon, and any of your local health food stores will also sell these. Now we're going to talk about the protective styling or your styling routine. So for me, a bun, protective styling can go both ways. You can protective style so wonderfully that, you reveal this beautiful, healthy head of hair, or you can keep it in for so long, whether it be buns, twist outs, bantu knots, wigs and weaves, braids, whatever your choice. And you can get broken off edges, and you can just do more damage to your hair than, help. Like, in my video where I talked about breaking off my edges because I left a bun in for too long. And I'm still trying to regrow my edges. So I'll post a video about that later. So it's really about understanding what works for you. I love box braids, but my hair just does not tolerate them well. And to you women who can wear them for 2 and 3 months at a time, kudos to you, because I just get so much breakage. And I've had them done professionally. I have done them myself thinking, oh, I'm not going to pull my edges too hard. It just wasn't the case for me. And lastly, I want to talk about your trim schedule. There are some women who can go a whole entire year without trimming their ends, and I'm just not that girl. So at the same time, there are stylists who will trim your hair every month you go to them, and that's not necessary. So really just pay attention to your hair, pay attention to your ends, and, it might take a few mistrials and, blunders for you to really figure out what works for you. But literally finding the right regimen is like finding the fountain of youth. Your hair will just start to flourish. It's kind of like your diet, and your exercise program. Once you find what works for you, everything just comes into shape. Everything, just happens. Take care of your hair will take care of you. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And please like this video, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you later.